But if you feel that, for example, sir, I think that for next movie, you shall watch out with because some of us have not watched before. So I shall do it, right? But other movies, for all the movies that I selected, I want to use that. Except for the one but the idea was why not I cut the movie to half and so that we understand the entire perspective. I like to have this, so
Check out the link. Can you check out the link? It's supposed to be on YouTube. The one that I sent to Truecaller. Yeah, the one I sent Truecaller. Yeah, the one. This is fine, bro. If I see it, I'm fine. Ano ba?
running anecdotes and hadiths on topics and the lesson that we learn from the movie. And of course, we share a lot of discussion, right? And on the notes, we have a lot of contemplation. And in fact, I really think for the last page. Right? So, yeah, every day on. Okay, next question, please.
I don't have any particular reason for coming here. But I mean, the title was quite interesting, and I do enjoy watching dramas, and it was really quite see how there can be a fact to real life because in some situations that whatever is there. Maybe there are some things that you can relate to, or how you can apply it to your life. Yeah.
So, what kind of dramas you like more?
Korean.
Korean dramas, good. So, you always cry when you're
Sorry?
They call it the Korean movies are like what they call it, the tools or the world of five nights. I never watched Korean movies before. I once watched one movie when I was in Syria. I was introduced by an ustaz that wouldn't really introduce me to a Korean movie. I wouldn't say his name. It's a close friend of mine, very close. And when he said ustaz, then now I call him ustaz. What was you guys? He said, I watched this movie, like. Yeah, I watched the movie, so it's not flower boys, boys over flowers. Boys over flowers, is it? Yeah, boys over flowers. It's very sexual. There's a Japanese version, there's a Korean version. Then there's another Korean drama of an airline, stewardess. Really sad. But basically, like what you said, sometimes, and that's why I want to talk about is it permissible for Muslims to watch movies at the very first time. But I shall put the question at the end of the inshallah. That for us to understand whether so we can really watch movies or not in Islam. Right? The answer is yes, but we should understand. Because when some of us watch a movie, you become part of the character. And when that happens, and you change your characters and your attitude and your adab and your emotions and your trust and your belief, especially in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's dangerous things. Right? I mean, crying watching movies normally is humanistic values. You have that extra empathy or something. That's really what you say and what you watch. But if you act out into your life, that means you become part of the drama. It's really dangerous. For example, the drama is movie called Suamiku Ustaz. Macam dia ada banyak suamiku di series. Suamiku Ustaz, suamiku jual, suamiku seorang luar, suamiku so this will become like a habit. But there's a dangerous point when we look at movies, and then we start to make it part of our life, and then it's difficult for us to detach from it. But inshallah, we should have to grow a little bit mix.
So Anna,
Go ahead.
yeah. So when I was in arts, in class, I watch movie then you can how find ways to print it in.
Yeah.
So this is like a way of dividing certain things from different things. That's one. And then is I hope to make a conscious attempt to watch and get something out of it rather than selalu tengok movie just okay mindlessly then I forget it. Yeah.
It's also very important basically that I'm also including on the lessons that how to watch for example, talking about offline. That means absent-mindedness, doing something without having any intention of doing. And it comes offline. Offline, like I said earlier, absent-mindedness, not knowing what to do, or the right word is heedlessness, but heedless. Heedless and heedless is almost the same thing. That means you have the fitness idea of what you're doing in life, but just doing it. And you become the puppets of this dunya, become the puppets of our nafsu, and then that is when things all go wrong with that. And then we start to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what goes wrong. You know, I want to tell you there's something wrong with you, but it just comes in fancy to say. So that's heedlessness. And of course, inshallah, since you did share us some of the critics, extra critics that perhaps have. Last but not least.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Suzy. Actually like also there's no particular reason that I'm here. I just came here to accompany my friend. And also because I think this course is quite interesting because I think it's something different from the previous Sapna classes that I attend. So I hope from this class I can learn some values and some new things from it.
Okay, sure. Once again, how come you have more questions as I have? So, inshallah, for the kids will understand what special is all about, right? Okay. So, Professor Adams is a doctor. He's still practicing, all right? In fact, with regards to this class, I even told him to Professor Adams to give us some words of wisdom. You know, for Professor Adams, you cannot send him anything because you don't like technology. And I had to write a letter, and he prefers handwritten letters. It's been sent to him. Inshallah, I hope that there's a reply from all of us. I just sent him a letter asking to give us not an class. That's 9 lessons. Share us one beautiful lesson. Perhaps we can be part. And I told him we choose to read. And of course, inshallah, we have time to watch the real Passion movie at the end of today. It's even of that talks. It shows the real Passion, right? So this is one of the. Let me start with this quote that Passion had. It is not in the movie. This was taken from TED Talks, right? Just take a look at this ayah of this statement first and see and try to realize who this guy is all about. At the end of the day, inshallah, you should understand further what this statement is talking about. I made me at 18. I decided I wasn't going to have a constructed self-development. I was going to be the composer, the designer, the architect of me, and it's been really fun. And at the age of 18, this came after he was hospitalized for lots of times. There was this one time that he was hospitalized and he gave up hope. And he said, I want to kill myself. Because I find that being hospitalized just drains every single energy away from me, drains every single confidence away from me, and I'm reached rock bottom and I don't know where to go. So I was hospitalized a couple of times. I think when he reached 18, something happened to him. He told himself, I shall not quit. I shall make me. I don't want to just, listen to the judgments of life on me, and I submit myself and my future, whatever judgments we will give. So I shall be the difference in my future. So this is what happened to him, and he's very different right now. Right? There's an institute under his name. It's I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Geiselhack or something like that. It's in Germany. Just Google out, you can find the institute. And what he does annually is that he goes to disease-related countries and he brings this type of medication. Instead of medication, of course, they will have the medication doctors, but before they even do that kind of, of health check and so on and screening, he believes in clowning. Because clowning is medicine, and allowing people to laugh and distracting them from the pain, that is something which will eventually win um, them over you, and eventually also you win everything basically. One of his famous quote is, "You treat the disease, you win, you lose. You treat the human being, you definitely win." Right? So this is a very impactful quote. So this is actually, I don't know when you can hear it. It's good. But it's actually, but I shall give up and see how we can come up with it. But I have other clips in store for all of us. Right? This is the starting of
He told me. My father died when I was 9. He was in the army. He wasn't home very much. 2 weeks before he died, he told me that in the Korean War, it felt like he lost his soul. All this time I thought it was me. I've moved 7 times in the last year. I've had several jobs. Nothing seemed to fit. I was dead.
And when your father died, how did that make you feel?
I didn't know I was 9. It was like there's this distinction between you and the rest of the world. I looked around me. I had fun out just like I did before. But it wasn't like it was before. My uncle helped even visit. He had explicit. And I thought, if I could light my own thoughts, I could fly to the moon, or at least your ends. But if I couldn't do that, at least I could use my penis as a pogo stick. And that might be way of getting around.
What's that? Yes, that's it. Yes, well, I'm thinking we can find progress, Hunter. We'll talk later in the group.
So what do you understand from this one? Sorry? Therapist was looking for time to pass. What else? So was he telling the right story from the very beginning? He was telling, the father more. He was trying to open up. And he was actually observing what the therapist was doing. His eye was looking what the therapist was doing. What was the therapist doing? It's writing, not focused on the person. He wanted to say something else. He was not interested in patient. And of course, if you watch the movie, this doctor had no interest in anyone at all. Okay? He enrolled himself in this hospital. Patient is now in a mental asylum. He enrolled himself inside. And he just wanted to see people and he just wanted to, see what changes he could do and understand things better. So he was here for a therapy and which he didn't even need. So when he found that his uncle was interested, what he started to say, he started to say nonsensical stuff. My father, some other nonsensical stuff. But what did the doctor say then of it? Because he was keeping a very straight face, the doctor said that, not that, this guy will open up. He said, okay, that was a good sharing. Thank you so much. Now in life, if you are in the position of passion, how would you feel? Rush off. Right? And feel hurt, of course, right? What else? Angry. That's what he said. He was saying what his uncle I talked to my uncle and went. And he looked at him and he said, yeah, he's listen. That's why he started to change the whole story now. But in life, sometimes, we might tell a person that they are important in our life, or family members, or parents, and on face value, we seem interested, but we don't even listen to them. We don't even look at their body language. We don't even ascertain the messaging within the content of their messages. And sometimes we brush it off as okay, that's all right. So this is a very important lesson, which I shall share about. But of course, how would you feel if no one listens to you while you were speaking? as a speaker, I feel offended. Right? You invite me or you're here with me, and I'm speaking, you don't listen to. Or when I'm counseling, right, I'm giving you life important things, so I just switch things somewhere here and there. Right? You might turn me off sometimes, but I just say, okay. My professor last time, when I was in Syria, side, what he did was whenever he was speaking and someone would get a handphone, usually the Asians won't do it. Asians are very respectful. But the Arabs, they kill. And you play a headphone, hello, start palco. So I got to just look and say, get out, get lost in food. Once my professor was the end of his weeks, then the story over. That was the doctor said, you are rich, right? I'm pretty sure tomorrow will come to you. But how's that thing? I said, this is the thing. When something a test happens over you, you find a way to get back to yourself. You don't break this habit after you follow this. So, people feel offended. Example, if you are meeting someone and you wanted to ask them, some important life nasihat, and they don't listen to you, how do you feel? Example. Imagine if you are at the brink of dying. I know you here work as a counselor, therapist,
I'm a social worker.
social worker, and you receive a call once, or maybe someone wanting to perform suicide. Never received that kind of case before. When I was at the state, and the state, when you start, you're at the mouth. When you sometimes you can become a Muslim. If you're the Muslim, sometimes also you can become a counselor. So, at this point of time, I was not yet trained in psychology and counseling. I received a call from you, and he said this, I have a blade on my left hand, I have a slash off my legs on my left hand. I need final words. The long stuff was really short, so she started to put after people say what to do. That kind of messaging. And because I told you stuff that I wanted to do myself. So it was very shocking to me. I said, oh, that will delay you. I don't know how honestly, I don't know what to answer. I do not know what to say. Except at the back of my mind, there's always this one sentence statement. If that will want to talk about me. You do not have the greatest taqwa in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and never leave your taqwa. But of course, when someone is trying to kill themselves, whatever you say, in terms of God, nothing will really get them. Nothing will tell them, I should stop and say that. No. And that day, give it the one who will decide whether they want to kill themselves or not. But what's most important is to listen to them by time. It's no problem. So that's what I did. I didn't know whether I was correct at that time, but I think I did the right thing. I said, so what's your name? Where do you live? What are you doing? I still don't know what I did, but I said, I just passed to my stuff. People don't know about what I did. So I went to one of the available social workers, let me say, right? Social development unit, and I answered the call to him. And it was thankful because we managed to stop that person from slashing himself, which motivated me after that. Immediately, I must learn psychology and counseling, of which I did. And it was very, very beneficial. To understand people is very difficult. It's like wanting to understand a dictionary. You can understand that about it. Right? No matter, in life, no matter how close you are with a certain human being, right? No matter how long you have lived with them, whether it's your parents, whether it's your siblings, that one day your spouse, or you're really married. Sometimes something will just happen that will make a change in them, an absolute change, which you will never understand, you've never seen the side of them before. And it's very important that you listen to these telltale signs before anything happens. And therefore, in Islam, listening is something which is a very, very valuable thing. To be able to listen. In fact, one of the ulama mentioned is that before you even open up your mouth, listen. Because there was one the Quran was delivered with. Before they even speak, they listen to the Prophet, mention the Quran to them, the Wahyu. In regards to hadith, before they even ask, they start to listen whatever the Prophet did. They start to be aware and they start to witness whatever the Prophet was doing. Right? So, of course, you'll be offended, right? You'll be sad, you'll be angry, turn off, there are many dejected. Most of the time, without us realizing, whenever we have a problem in life, who will be the first person you talk? Of optimum, of course, Allah, of course, right? But I know that's not the direct answer. That's not the real answer. Even to me sometimes, the right problem who they ask first, my mother, teacher's house. But and then I keep telling everyone, go to Allah subhanahu. It's always a humanistic trait. They always go to a human being until you ask at least one person, you say, hey, I should go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, and then you go back to Allah subhanahu. But sometimes when you have a problem and you knock on the doors of human beings, humans or people that you might know of, close to you, or your friend, right? Or anyone that you find can trust in them, but they don't answer you, how do you feel? Rejected, you feel down. Because you have utmost trust in them to help you, but they just can't seem to help you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in fact, He Himself says, I'm here whenever my servants ask me something. I have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best way to listen and learn to listen is to go back on direct sources. One is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He always listens. And number two, back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? So we shall look at some of the lessons that we can learn from. So the tools of understanding in life, and this is a very important life thing, you can have it at work. You can make full use of it at home. Even in Salah and Ibadah, you can make full use of it. Three important tools of understanding that Allah has given to us that sometimes we forgot about it. One is, what's the other thing over there? It's the heart, right? It's funny because when you, nowadays, right, when you go to Google, you type heart, it doesn't come up this. It comes up love, that's heart. So it's my heart that shaped, So this is the heart, right? Qalb bin Salim, the same heart. Number two is ears. Number three is right? And this is not really direct. I'll talk to you about it later on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sorry, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in the hadith with regards to the first tool, which is the heart. Indeed, in the body there is a piece of flesh. If it's good, the whole body is good. And if it's corrupted, the whole body is corrupted. And verily, it is the heart. The first step of listening and in listening is to have a stable heart. That is a heart free of jealousy, a heart free of doubt, a heart which is free of arrogance, a heart which is free of ego. Imagine one of your worst enemies coming to you and asking you for help. Would you even listen to that person? I'm talking about your worst enemy ever. You've literally your Ibatu Malaysia last time. You nak play Ibatu Malaysia, last piece, they cut you, they'll be. Dan sampai sekarang tak belum buat Ibatu Malaysia. But you still remember it, Sometimes I do have this, I have this friend, I share with you, right? But of course, this was a long story back when I was studying in Syria. Chili sauce is something which is hard to come by in Syria.
I think of countries.
I never heard of sorry before. I'm telling you this story. In Syria, chili sauce is something which is something which is very, it's like a treasure which you can find. And in Brazil you can find chili sauce, of course, because there are many Asians over there. People who bring in shipments and so on and so forth. There are also many nations. You go to Cairo, it's like mini Indonesia. You go to Yaman, it's also mini Indonesia. You can find not the chili sauce like the Kimballs or stuff like that, but you can find ABC chili sauce, which is different. And you will try your Maggi chili sauce, your Kimballs Thai sauce, right? So in Syria, there's no such chili sauce, right? There's no such thing. So one day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the governors in Syria a very, very bright idea to open up a shopping center. And the shopping center had a huge supermarket. And within this market, there was a very small shelf that sells Asian food, which is always 99% of the time always empty. Right? So whenever, for example, until we make a deal with the orang jual barang store, we can stock down here, pasal tak ada WhatsApp. Some does, Friendster, or you can just post on Friendster and tell us, we'll come and buy, something like that, okay? So one day, eventually, Kimballs started to sell 5 bottles of chili sauce to Syria. And I got my hands on 2 bottles of it, because 1 bottle, in Syrian dollars, I mean, it's converted from Syria to Singapore dollars. Because how much does 1 Kimball, a jumbo size bottle cost in Singapore? $50, just something to prepare a little bit. $50, $4, nothing is $5. Unless you watch the YouTube, and then the Uncle John's hot sauce. With the hot sauce. But it's different, right? So it's very cheap. Over there, it costs $20 to offer. And $20 in Syria is a lot. $20 in Singapore, you makan, $40, right? So you get the cukup, McDonald's, the cukup, the chili sauce on the bottle, and in Syria, $20 can last you like 1 week actually, if you reserve the money and buy $20. So I bought 2 bottles, $40 worth. And I told my friends at home, and my house, there were 5 of us in the house. I said, okay, all of us can use this sauce, but there's one rule. It can be done, it can only be unbottled once a day. When everyone's home, we buy the sandwich, it's cara mana sikit. So whenever we go and unbottle and put 2 spoons or 2 tablespoons, taruh 5 orang duduk depan mangkuk dan cecah, kita makan macam Singapore, start to remember start to remember Dilam, all those memories come. That's mashallah. That is one way how the Prophet taught us to eat, to save our food. Some of us just gobble our food and makan. But the Prophet when he ate, he ate with his heart. Whatever food that he ate, he was always full of heart and he always observed the taste, the energy that's been put inside and cooking. Emotions, and also most of them will always, find the delicacy behind that meaning, behind that. So when we eat chili sauce, one day, my friend swung chili sauce. And then he forgot, and I wasn't at home. I said, I don't mind what to eat, but what? I said the chili sauce. So when I came back, I was happy, When I went to the sink, there was this mango with like 1 tablespoon full of chili sauce on that plate. Dalam sink, mana dah habis makan kan? Dan Azil, I minum makan. Azil, siapa yang makan? Oh, sorry lah, I don't mind eating. Kau kan use Azil, I buy this, if I went, dia pernah dalam apa aku, and just go away, this is like $4, I always speak sorry. For a couple of days I didn't speak to them. Just because of chili sauce. And then I find it really absurd not to speak about chili sauce, but I also thought this is about basil. And I was using the ideas in our basil and until the food goes on basil. Are you really angry because of the basil or because of the chili sauce? So everything's okay now. But when we meet, we always say chili sauce. They say, hey, don't pay for chili sauce, because I was always taught by my mom not to chili sauce. There was one punishment once, I had chicken wing, started chicken wing, and I took one chili sauce, started wing that. And then I went to the sink, my mom said, I said chili sauce on this. We finish every single bit of it. So I had to use the spoon and eat the chili sauce and feel like that. It was chili sauce, right? So I was chili sauce. So this part of the body, which is the heart, whenever you mix out people, whether you're a counselor, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're ustaz, whether even you're a taxi driver, if your heart is bad, everything, your amal, your ibadah that comes after it, the performance of your ibadah that will come after that will not be good. Right? Because arrogance spoils everything. Jealousy spoils everything. And if these diseases are present inside your heart, then of course the whole body will be corrupted. But when you are jealous, are you happy? Right? I don't be happy, for example, I'm jealous with I'm jealous with the beauty, for example. I was good beauty, but I thought minum. I go to YouTube. For the class that on inside my heart, I would say, should be known as a green tea, because that is what my heart is sending the messages to my brain. I start to give a nickname, I start to think bad about it, for example, right? Kata members, kata sahabat, terus mati. Sometimes you have a friend, nak makan, habis 20 sen pun nak kira. Dia balik untuk kawan tu bisa. Hari tu bisa nak, nak kira sahabat, kira 20 sen. And you start to have bad thoughts about this person. So when your heart is spoiled, everything's going to be spoiled. It's like the Patah Melayu katakan, sedikit gila sebagai susu besar. One drop of gila, stop inside the milk, air and spoil. Right? So how is really important? Secondly, what I want to focus on is actually listening. In the Quran, Surah Zumar, Allah mentioned this. الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه أولئك الذين هداهم الله أولئك هم أولو الألباب. Whoever listens to speech and follow the best of it, those are the ones Allah has guided, and those are people of understanding. And Allah linked, الذين يستمعون القول, whomsoever listens to the word, right, to the speech. هم أولو الألباب. What is أولو الألباب? The people of understanding here, and this is those who listen to the word. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says word qawla or speech, it means those whosoever listen to the Quran, those whosoever listen to the hadith. And of course, it can also mean those whosoever listen to instructions. When you listen to instructions well, you are bound, the chance of you doing, a careless mistake is very little. Right? Or if you do something which is against the instruction is very little, because you have understood the message. You have understood the command has been given to you. So this just whoever listen to speech is something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to understanding. Now it is not listening when there's no understanding from involved. When you listen but you don't understand, that's hearing. And hearing is something that we do always. We hear a lot of noise. As I'm speaking, if you are listening to speak, you're also hearing the fan. As you are listening to me speak, you might hear some of our colleagues or friends, their pens are clicking. You hear that. But which one is more important? What you hear or what you listen? Supposedly, what's most important is what you listen. But miraculously for human being, we tend to emphasize more on what we hear and then listen than what we listen. Example, Salah. When some noises happen around us, it's just something which we hear. But actually listening to ourselves reading the Quran, reciting the Quran, reciting Al-Fatiha, reciting Surah, saying the Takbir, saying the Zikr, we are listening to ourselves, right? That's the good one. To study fiqh of Salah, you must be able to listen to your own voice, the very little. For example, Al-Fatiha, this is much more to the guys. So this is type of much more. As long as you can listen to the moments of the life, it's enough. But for the guys, it's something which I always tell the guys to perform. Whenever I become an imam, after Ramadan, the army is super loud. But after that, it's like 1 days of silence, like 20 days of nights. And these people are having zombies. Because you don't listen to them, imagine 1,000 or 2,000 jama'ah. When they decide or they start to sing or whisper, Bismillah, you can listen to them, it's totally silent. So are they reading the Quran? Are they reading the Fatiha? Or not? Right? So this is something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but rather we allow ourselves, our khushu, our focus in life or in salah to be distracted by the small things that we do. And then we can also link this particular ayah to productivity. We are focused in doing something, and we hear some little noises that happen, like someone jumped on a glass. They start going, start standing the word, and the rest scribbling word, and start to play. Musical melodies. A lot of noises happen. That's one little noise that you hear. But you're supposed to listen to the instructions of Ulil Amri, that means your leaders above you, as you do work. And productivity is good. Right? For example, another good way is, for example, how many of you here are drivers? Right? Example, if you are focused in driving, focused in driving, all of a sudden someone honk. What is your immediate reaction? Someone else must want. So for example, horn. Last time when someone horn, I the horn gun. I just start to joke. So you're in the action, right? So if you are focused, nobody away from that honk. You know? Is it called a horn or honk? Anyway, what the sound of those, the car honk, right? So you won't be disturbed by it. But I think, of course, you give your attention to find out why. But you won't be affected. I mean, some of the people that I know, not judging, but most of them ladies, right? And then look at the honk, and they just pass. You don't come to it. I don't know for what reason, but look at the ramp, it's not their fault. Or jalan-jalan okay, just sekali ada camera. Sometimes you drive into belakang laju, ada camera, you thought it was you. Then you start to be affected, right? And you know there's small little noises that happen. And in life, when we talk about listening to instructions from Allah and hearing whispers from Shaitan, in the previous class, you know the enemy. One of the strongest, or one of the tools that Shaitan and Iblis loves to use is to use himself. Himself means in Arabic whispers. Sometimes you listen to these little whispers. But sometimes it's not even outside, it's inside. And the voices inside that used to do something which is stupid and wrong. Right? And you are doing something, other things, but because of that whispers, you allow yourself to be distracted, you allow yourself to be misled. That is something which is very important also. So the purpose of active listening, right? These are the four things. Number one, it increases accuracy. Number two, it validates other people's feelings. That is in the sense of acceptance. For example, when I'm speaking and you're looking at me and you're listening and you're writing down notes, I feel that whatever we've been talking about is being accepted. Right? For example, if I'm speaking and you're sitting there, arms folded back, you know, with your headphone on, headphone in you, feel like you're calm. So I'm not feeling accepted if that happens. But all of us, when other people validate our feelings and take it to account, you know, really happen. They accepted us and said, we will feel accepted. I would say that, inshallah, thank you so much. Number three, it shows your care and concern. And this is very important. Very important, especially when we talk about thinking of the balance. Last but not least, it helps to expand thoughts and explore issues laterally. Going back to the Pat Adams tips just now, when he was becoming a doctor, he was trying to relate things of his life to the doctor, but the doctor just wouldn't listen. Right? So, what do you think happened? Pat Adams immediately had the judgment and said that this doctor does not actually care consider me. That this guy doesn't accept my feelings, no empathy. When in Islam, empathy is very important. Empathy is strongly linked to acceptance. It's understanding other people's plight, right, and agony. Increases accuracy in trying to predict the best answer in judgments. And if you don't listen, how can you give the best answer? And that's why this helps to expect thoughts, explore issues that if you speak to someone and you force them to speak, tell them to speak, and you teach them, so you start speaking, you start talking, and you push them somehow or other. You will have them to expect their thoughts and eventually their confidence. And this is something which is very, very important. And I understand last time when I was studying phonics. Phonics, what is phonics? The ability of certain English words really well. I think I spoke like an Arabic last time, or more like hey, go to school now. Because I'm mixing around with right? So actually, my teacher forced me to enroll me inside the phonics class, of which he was teaching. And I learned to speak how we're supposed to speak. Right? So, of course, those are confidence. You share with them, you tell them, you help them, eventually, speak normally. So, these are the listening processes. Right? Just take them down. Will be important later on in class. Right? This will help you to understand the Quran better. Will help you to understand your lectures better. Will help you to understand things which happen around you better. Number one is whenever you are listening, you receive. What you receive, messages, right? And then Allah Subhanahu talks about those who listens, and then those with understanding. Next step in listening is to understand. Example, you read the Quran. When you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, as you are reciting, are you receiving? You are receiving. What is the meaning behind Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Then understanding. And then when you already understand, you start to remember Allah, most gracious, most merciful. And you start to learn Allah, sometimes, for example, when you listen to radio, listen to a song that you like, but you listen to the tune rather than the music with the lyrics, right? And then when you come to the mind, you start to sing the tune, but not the music, you know, and start to follow how the person sings, but not actually the words that is being, revealed and so on and so forth. So that is one step, but it's not receiving enough. That means you don't really listen to songs. Some people listen to songs absentmindedly because they like the beat. And that's the vocal of people listening to songs for the beat and not for the lyrics. I'll share with you again and the final week. Some part of it, right? And someone think of anything, but this one that I said. But what I'm telling you right now, if you ask me to start, what to come up and watching movies and listening to music, what do you think? That's why we have this class time. We don't have this class. Right? Answer them on that, right? Right? Your intentions, good. There are many lessons there. But Imam Sheikh Al-Qaradawi, he highlighted 5 things which will make a movie, a music video, and also music haram. Right? Movie, music video, and there will be haram. Example, number 1. There's 5, right? I can just introduce this one. It's called actions. What was your actions in listening to that music? Right? What's your intention? Some people want to watch a movie, for example, because they want to find out about something. For example, it was quite sad when a couple of our Muslims posted. I don't mind watching Muslim movie, but I don't mind, me personally as a movie by myself, I don't mind the movie, which is the 50 Shades of Grey. Shades of Grey. I find it very awkward for Muslims, especially, with nicely drawn hijabs, especially like the faces looking up the smile, the kind of fala. Okay, nampak kafala, people in Malaysia, Muslim Shades of Grey. Right? It's different from the book even. Other behind the intention of you wanting to watch a movie one. And that's what you do the research and study. Some of us will research. People always say, why do you watch so many movies? I always tell them, research and I research, behind Salama. But some movies, of course, I'm still not watching. But of course, you feel sad when you find that your fellow Muslims and fellow Muslim brothers will watch such a movie. Why? Because the intention of watching that particular movie, because there's a hidden agenda behind it. You don't know something else about it, right? So, remembering, evaluating what you have learned and listened. It's very important. And also giving the response. How you respond to it. Some people respond in this particular model. It can be a response given to a conversation. It can be a response given to how you react to a movie. You watch the Hindustan, Kushi Kabila, of Muhammad Ali, and then there was a very sad scene. How would you respond to a sad scene? Cry out, no other option. Would you be laughing? And that's one of the awkward ones. You scream, everyone will cry. I'll cry watching Muhammad Ali. Excuse me. Right? It's a very touristic venue, right? And last but not least is the eye. But it is not only linked to the eye. No Illuminati, no things similar. But we listen with the heart. Allah says in Surah Yasin, ينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين. One whoever is alive and justify the word against the disbelievers. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to one whoever is alive and justify. Right? ينذر من كان حيا. Right? It's here that you need to tell yourself what is right and what is wrong. Sometimes you have the right intention. Right? Sometimes you listen really well. But it doesn't justify why you must do something. Right? For examples. Why do you pray Asar and Zuhr silently? Have you ever asked Asar? Why is it Subuh, Maghrib, and Isha? We did it out loud. Right? But for Zuhur and Asr, it was silent. Why? Why do you pray the Sunnah prayers quietly? Except, of course, when you follow the Imam in Taweh, Yamulan, and the Bid'ah now. But Sunnah prayers are meant to be done silently. Right? But the most important question of all of us here, when we pray, our hearts are all over the place. So the first answer, second answer, is the third question. There was a history why he prayed Asar and Zuhur silently. There was a history behind it. But the rationale that ulama agrees upon was that during the daytime and the night time, during the daytime and the evening time, people are working and they tend to get tired. They're sleepy and so on and so forth. So when you pray and you pray silently, not jahar, one of the rationales in spirituality is that Allah wants your heart to be awakened. Allah wants you to perform your salah not just by reading and saying things blindly and keep listening, but rather use your heart and recite. So that you are aware, you are awakened. So now, when Allah says, or when I use the word, or I use the term, the third tool is using the eye, what I'm trying to say is to look with the eyes of your heart. That is empathy. That is understanding. That is remembering. Everything in a nutshell. Your intentions may be right. You might listen things which might give you the best of knowledge. But if you never see through the knowledge that it has something which will impact you, will change you, will develop it to become someone better, then whatever you have learned and listened is nothing important. It's pointless and useless. Right? And how many of us, when we play, our hearts all over the place? It's a question which most of the times I myself want to shy away from. Because we don't listen to Allah. We don't listen to Allah. Right? Our room is like much either speaking to the doctor. As much as our room yearns for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our body, the one that's outside, the one that is performing the physical action, I'm not really listening to what our room wants. And the room will give up. And that is how an mu'min is destroyed in life. So I share a few ayahs now, and please step forward. Allah says that He is indeed here, and He responds to every call. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for us. So we can look at another important message.
You bend your medial collateral ligaments, place one talus in front of another, see where you have a problem. Or should there were a news story covering this event? The headline might read, "Small brain enters room."
Fingers. What's the answer?
Oh, you're another one of those brain young fellows who always know the right answer. Huh? Welcome to real life. What do you see?
Four fingers.
Look at me. You're focusing on the problem. You focus on the problem, you can't see the solution. Never focus on the problem. Look at me. How many do you see? Look beyond the fingers. How many do you see? Yes. Eight's a good answer. Eight, see what no one else sees. See what everyone else chooses not to see. They conform relations. See the whole world anew each day. Two things you want on the way. You see something here besides crazy, literal man. It would become Christmas.
What do you see when you look at me?
You text back. Send around. Patch.
That is how he earned his first nickname. His name is Hunter Adams. And he's well known as Hunter Patch Adams. Because Patch was a nickname given by this old man to him. Because he patched the cut. That's Patch. But what do you learn from this short clip? See, I learned a lot. Initially, I didn't understand all the figures, but when I watched it a couple of times, I understand. Right? Short video, short one. But what do you learn? What do you understand from the short video? Famous ayat is this one, right? Never focus on the problem. Right? Focus on the solution. Right? You never get anything right with the problem. So that is one thing. But he said, focus on the problem, you cannot see the solution. Never focus on the problem. And he asked Patch to look beyond the four fingers and look what was behind it. Well, if you're trying to do it, how many fingers you see? I'm trying to raise out the four fingers and look at it. Focus on me.
See properly when you're focusing on your
Oh, yeah, lah. That's why you need to focus on me. Focus on the fingers. It's like a lens, a camera lens.
yeah, it's more than more.
Right? So it's an autofocus. Lesson for me is now technology understands autofocus. What do we understand autofocus? What should our autofocus be? Solutions, not problems. But in life, whenever we go through a problem, what do we focus on? Problems. When a relationship or something which we desire, something which we treasure, a friendship or relationship, or perhaps family, which we really treasure, but one fine day, the focus is gone. So there's sudden a problem. What do we focus on? The solution to rectify the problem, or just keep looking at the problem? When I'm also involved in divorce cases, not that I divorce people, or I'm not the cause for divorce, right? Wrong. But sometimes I do find myself being part of the situation because again I was a Christian and I used to oversee this, and people divorce for funny reasons. One of the funniest reasons I've ever got, from a 54-year-old lady, 50 plus, wanting a divorce from a 60-year-old husband. It's not because the husband's quick better. The husband's committed to community, right? But when she got out, she said, that's what I how old are you? 54. I am okay. Makcik. I give the emphasize on the I. Orang muda juga I. Right? So she was giving me all the reasons. I said, why? Maybe because she didn't prepare her speech doctor. But something just happened. She said, saya nak try apa saya. Saya dah didik. 30 tahun, kalau nak terus gigi itu, ubah gigi itu jangan tekan dari nampak. Ubah gigi. Okey, dia tekan dari so bawah penuh, anak kosong. Penat saya nak tolak. 30 tahun Ustaz.
Kira aja tak orang pandai lah.
Ajar dia sebenarnya. Tapi what makes you give up 30 years after? Why didn't you give up 3 hours after marriage? Malam pertama, kenapa abang tekan? Why 30 years after? Right? Saya ask, I said, kenapa nak cerai? Why? Mana lagi masalah? Tapi ini masalah ketahui. Saya yang sama dengan dia. Husband dia ada, tell me about your husband. He don't have any bad things. I mean, she doesn't have any bad things to say. But she don't give it to him. Bayar pula. There's no issues. Is it about nafkah? Apa? Masuk Pak Gigi.
Macam dengan orang pos.
So, when I asked them to sit down, reflect, calm down, mystify, answer, I have to look at why did they treat me up to this? I asked them back, like, if this is still the issue, it's like a very long call. This is the real issue. Why are you giving up now or last night? This is something which bugs you. Why are you giving up now only not last night? If you have something against, you get OCD, right? But why only now? You develop the OCD at the age of 50. Is there even such a thing happening at the age of 50 with OCD? No.
Nak press the bukit dia tu.
Maybe lah. Are you okay? Kalau boleh call this jet, tak boleh kan? So, when you look at the problem, you can have, this is again with regards to your heart in life. Right? And it's about learning to let go of the most difficult things in life. It's about learning to accept things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. It's about letting go of your nafs. It's about letting go of your fantasies. It's about letting go of your desires. Right? It's about allowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to come back inside the deepest pleasures of your heart. And making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to focus again. Sometimes in life, we lose focus. You know? Example, how many of you here is waiting for holiday in June? Wait for holiday in June. Here we go. Are you wait? I like. So now it's this, okay? April. How many more days are there? Some people that I know of, you know, we start to do countdown. Countdown to Thailand, or countdown to Hong Kong, or countdown to many other places. I have another student going to Africa, countdown to Africa in September.
Yeah.
It's like a long way lah, macam 190.
Stress ke?
Oh, stress. But because why? The focus really, I want to break free. You know? But they define it through that. Go, I'm going to say. Last time, you know, when I was in Myanmar, because I finished my education already, so I wanted to go back. But there were some issues at the point of time, so I couldn't really go back immediately. I had to wait for certificate, for some letters, and I had to finish off some years later. So I had 2 months, right? Tickets pun ada. I went back. Because you know, doing anything, tak pergi kelas lagi apa. So you say, so you know, I did a Schofield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 15th day, I was really depressed. I was literally pulling my head, you know, what is it like counting bars? And after like 3 strides, I can counting them again every single day. After I started working, after Maghrib, and I'll be excited tomorrow, or even before the end of the night, 12 1 minute. Pagi. Next day. You know, and it's really depressing. I think what my friend did was, he checked. He said, "What's doing there, man?" And told the time. And I said, "Oh, I said, focus on home because I've been thinking about food, about friendship, thinking about modernity, thinking about aircon, thinking about until, about naik kapal terbang. I like to travel also. I like to travel so much. I like to naik kapal terbang. Lagi kalau dulu ikan tengok sebanjir dulu, naik tu. One of my trips, I just bought my Sony phone. I put my phone on the window so it captures everything inside. So macam fast movement. So what do you call it? Hyperlapse. I did a hyperlapse from Singapore to Vietnam. You know, so I dekat. So So they record everything. Dia sampai Vietnam, tak sempat nak habis. Kau dia tu buffer nak squeeze selesai tu kan. You already have an awesome video daripada taxi off sampai landing kat Vietnam. Habis satu video, satu movie dah. 2 hours in like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, right? But again, one of them to say here to remember, the important part is focus. When I allow myself to write down and scribble that writing on the wall, my focus is going back. But when it was removed, there was no other distractions, there was no other noise. I could return back, I could focus to my life. Right? So it's about letting go of these numbers. It's just a number. You will eventually go back. You will eventually, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if Allah wants you to go back, you will go back. If Allah don't want you to go back, you'll never get back. No matter how many times you finish the cycle. Right? So it all belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you focus on course to Allah. But some people say, oh Ustaz, even if I want to do other things, must my focus be on Allah? Every single focus must be on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because if you can find your way to Allah, Allah will make you find your way to whatever you desire. As long as it is in the right way, as long as it is the right intention, the right deeds and amal. You have to remember this. Allah's test is Allah's testimony. You have to look beyond the problem. Sometimes we complain why we cry. Sometimes we complain why our heart feels pain. Sometimes we complain why things have to happen to us. Kenapa nak kasih dia pecah tadi? Kenapa nak pecah? Why? Ada orang komplain kerana dia tu masuk dalam muka. Masuk tersendat. Tak boleh move. It happened before. Kasut air dekat lavender. Aku pun balik kita pernah. Balik kita orang tu masuk. Tapi dia macam balik dia tak boleh. So dia nak masuk kasut. Tak boleh. Ada masalah tak? Balik kasut pun tak boleh. Lepas tu dia masuk sangat dalam muka. So dia balik seberang kasut, seberang kasut. Dalam dia buka di kasut dia. Longkang yang ada jaring. Masuk dalam. Masuk dalam. Masuk dalam kat longkang. So it's like totally wet inside, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us in Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah gives us this as an assurance and a dua that I want all of you to remind yourself with and then memorize. That is simple dua. Allah reminded us, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. Allah says Allah does not charge a soul except with that within its capacity. Allah will not test you beyond your means and capacity. It will have the consequence of what good it has gained, and it will bear the consequence of what evil it has done. That is, if you do good, you get good. If you do bad, you get bad. But what Allah is trying to say is, look beyond the test. Allah's test to you is Allah's testimony, whether you do good or whether you do bad. It's not just Allah testing for no kind of reason. Allah wants to give you a good record. Allah wants to give you good deeds. Allah wants to give you rewards. But sometimes we complain because of the test. And we drop out. You receive a testimony from Allah. You receive a warning letter from Allah. Imagine if when you were in school last time, you're supposed to take a test, but you took the test because you didn't like the test. Do you think your teacher will give you a testimony? No. It never happened. Who will read the discipline? Who will read the words of the discipline master? Right? So this is the one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us. Seeking for Allah's mercy. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. What does it mean? Ya Allah, do not impose blame upon us if we have forgotten or erred. Ya Allah, lay not upon us a burden like that which you laid upon those before us. Ya Allah, and burden us not with that which we have no ability to bear. and pardon us, Ya Allah, and forgive us, Ya Allah, and have mercy upon us, Ya Allah. You are our protector, so give us victory over the disbelieving people. Memorize this dua. Inshallah, it will give you best of confidence and you will receive Allah's protection over you. Right?
I'd like to leave. I want to discuss this in your schedule time. I'm leaving. And if you thought about what you do, I want to help you. First thing to do, I can enter into another community. I want more. I want other people help them with their troubles.
That's what I do.
But you suck at it. You wouldn't look at people when they're talking. I'm going to listen. I'm going to really listen to people.
I'm sorry, Padre, I can't allow you to leave. I believe that we still have some issues to work out.
Well, I don't need your permission here because I admitted myself.
I just warn you, my report will read AMA, that you were signed out of this hospital against medical advice.
I report will read IDGARA. TOS.
And it's your presence. Right? So Dr. said, PMA against medical advice, he said, don't do presence. I understand. But what was the lesson that we learned here? Right? But we have to go back and say, I put myself in, so I can bring myself out. What was the first reason why you bring yourselves inside? To understand people better, to understand himself better, to eliminate the noises outside, to find the correct thing. But what did he discover? That he could have people. Right? Next week I'll show you a clip of how there was a scene about people raising their hands. That was how he got the motivation to help other people. But what I want to focus on tonight is about how he came up with this ayah or this statement, I want to help people. And he said with conviction. When you speak with conviction, what does it mean? You're sure about yourself. At least when you're sure about yourself, you've done proper thoughts about it. You've given a lot of time thinking about it. And you are definitely sure that this is the right path. This is what you have to do. Right? So I want to talk about change. To make a choice, take a chance, or your life will never change. What do you think about that? You find this difficult? How do you find it? Well, that change is not that easy. How do you find that change is difficult? How do you find that all of you said, why is change not difficult?
This is very personal. This statement is very personal. Because I believe in terms of career path, and I don't think I would turn back ever again. Because as much as technology, I never saw it as difficult in the first place. So myself, take a chance, consider this a hijrah, and cancel all the noises, wherever people are talking about.
This part of the Bachelor's movie and this statement here was something which got me when I was in poly, right? That made me change the course of my life. I was not from madrasa, some of you might know. I was from Institute school. In fact, I was from a Catholic school. Since kindergarten to primary school, even secondary school. I was raised in Big Star kindergarten. And then I went to Mountain Junior School. And I ended up finding myself in Assumption English School. All of it was under Sanjuli Hong but I had brothers in Hong Kong. It was a Montfortune period. There's always Holy Mary, full of grace, your kingdom comes. What will be done? I see some happen. Every single day. Oh my God. So it was very engineering inside the wall. When I was in poly, I realized that there were some incidents that happened, some things that happened to the people that I find important about my friends. Some of them decided to leave Islam because they wanted money, and it hurt me so much because they were the people who introduced me to Islam. And then they left. They should be macam, but of course, it changed for certain reason. I should not focus on it. But when I wanted to study deep, I wanted wanted to study the religion. It was not something which is. Sometimes I said there was a huge leap of faith over. To me, it was double the leap. Because I was against everything, including myself. When I was at the airport, leaving for the very first time for my education, Islamic education, even my own family was talking to me and hurling abuse, words that were not comforting to me at the airport, trying to put Indonesia first. And they were telling my parents and me, what is Muhammad, what is Jesus going to do when he comes back? Every single year, more than 200 kids are studying the deen. They go to Brazil, they go to Yemen, they go to Saudi. What makes you think this guy has been brought up in the Catholic school since young, and he's never even been to the madrasa? He cannot even learn Arabic, he cannot even recite Al-Fatiha. What makes you think at the age of 17 or at the age of 16 he can change himself? I was crying. There was a few times when I was watch like I never eat. No, very rare few times. I don't even know myself not eating on a budget bill. It's not the right? It's not something. But it was rare few times when I was traveling, and I didn't eat. Because I was thinking about all these issues. Because I wanted to take the chance to change, but nobody was supporting me. And my mom almost lost faith in me. Mom told me, and she was like telling me, "Never mind, it's okay. Come back to Singapore, and go and study in private school. I pay for it, and I'm sure that you will get the degree somehow." I told my mom, it's not about the degree. It's about what I want. It's about what wants me to do. It was very difficult. The first year studying Islam was difficult because the condition and the environment was difficult. That made me leave Indonesia and I went directly to Yemen. When I reached Yemen, Hadramaut, I thought life would be easy. But the first impression or the first welcome I get from the teachers in Yemen was something very bad. When I wanted to enter Yemen, I had to do Imtihan Qabul, which means entrance test. And then they asked me to write my name in Arabic and to write Al-Fatiha. It took me, for some average ustazah, it took like perhaps 10 minutes or less than that to write their name full in Arabic. That's what Al-Fatiha, Shakir, is. For me, it took me 45 minutes for me to complete my name. And also maybe 2.5 hours of Al-Fatiha. I wasn't even writing, I was drawing. They gave up on me after 45 minutes. Because apparently that was not the only question. So after my name, after Fatiha, there was some other question they had to answer within half an hour. It took me 45 minutes to not even complete. Not even one question completed. But I was putting the effort trying to draw. I found that trying to make this with many days. It's the age of 17. I looked on the pencil, draw, erase, and erase. So it's like going back to kindergarten where your paper and ruler. And then what happened next was he went out a couple of times, also got paid, trying to entertain himself. Then it's a thing for us. You will be speaking a language I don't even understand that you celebrate. Right? There was a translator for me, Abu Muhammad. So he took the paper. I remember my shame that my habit that he eventually guided me and taught me Abu Muhammad. He was the first one to do the paper and he laughed. His voice began to start Masahawi. Sugar, and he swallowed it, and then the guy looked, not shaking that, yeah, voice was like, but that was the first thing they said, sugar, what is she? Simon was like, you're laughing. And without me realizing, I was crying. I was crying, laughing at me. Then something happened. I know that along the lines they were speaking in Arabic, they couldn't accept me because I had to speak it. Oh, not like that. Welcome. I see the same, but they started this way, not this way. So I'm not welcome at the school, sorry. That was like 18 hours or 16 hours to Yemen, and go back to Singapore, and the 16 hours, whatever my uncle said is true. Set at the point of time, I asked Allah, and he gave up to study a future. No matter what it takes, how long it takes, how much it costs me. I want to at least prove a point to myself, not even them, that I can do this. Now suddenly the habit macam dramatic lah. Oh, Muhammad. And he was smiling. Out and he was smiling. But when you enter the school, I've been kicked out. I don't know that. So habit said, okay, now follow the coming. I said, no, I didn't do it. I said, no, I tell them that you must enter. What do you say? No, I said, I'm telling them that if they don't accept you, I will cut off their this line. Then was later, my grandpa was the head of the electricity department in Hanamor. So he told the school board, they couldn't accept this Muhammad Visa inside your school, I will cut off the electricity from your school. Including the generator.
Yes.
Huh? No, it shouldn't. No. If I fail, I fail, I'll let you. So now I'm ended. But I said that's not the point. The point is they want you to pass in 3 months. For example, they want me to pass an open QEFM, from pencil sheet in 3 months. I mean, I can read the Quran, but I cannot write it, and I cannot. It's difficult. Today is 17. My first day at school was 15 kids. I was small then. Obviously, I was bigger, much more big than anyone of the kindergarten kids around me. I'm not ashamed of myself. But alhamdulillah, they gave me 3 months. I managed to pull through the 3 months within 1 month, 1 week, and I passed the test. I came into the room at the end of the moment and said, I'm ready to do it. Of course, I was behind the door, half hour, before full of opening my soul. So we have been, others, and that, and also the behind. Soalan lain je lah. Lepas saya was rekomendasi skrip actually. So, maka bukan waktu waktu soal makan juga exam. Lagi semua balik fix it. He was smiling back. I said, oh, I got the 2 days of preparation, I couldn't sleep. Because I was supposed to write a composition in Arabic, not lesser than around 150 figures, which is like half a page, about the reason why I want to study Arabic. And you have to say it in right Arabic. So I started, I wrote myself a composition, then I went to some of the senior students and said, please read through and fine. And I memorized every single word until I got sick. Toilet pun maju bayang ayat tu. Dia macam cerita jengkal, masuk. But then I took the chance and alhamdulillah, I changed. And of course, only with Allah's mercy, I'm here and stuff. Not because of my efforts, but because of Allah wanted to make my dream come true. What did I do? What I did was just ask Allah, Ya Allah, please accept me. Please accept my goals. I want to change for them. So how many times in life have you considered to make a change with your job, your life, your friends, your bad habits, your addictions, your lifestyle, but you end up not doing anything eventually? Because you are afraid of change. If you change the job, you think that in 6 months, you familiarize yourself with the job and you just unfit. You've had friends all your life, no matter how bad they are, no matter how, they are, but they're still your friends, and losing them, that's kawan baru, too much effort. Malas, right? Change your life, please see what you got, right? Or change my life, or lifestyle, or addictions, right? Some of us are well aware of our addictions, or put them aside. Our addictions can be things which are really severe, health, dangerous, unconscious stuff, and mental issues. For example, binge shopping, binge eating. You need to spend. Some people have this disease of needing to spend. Ada extra controllers now betul tak kena spend. Kalau tak spend, tak cukup syarat hidup pada ini. Right? You cannot come back empty-handed. Rasulullah also went back home and empty-handed. He cannot have anything in his hands. But he didn't shop. He gives sadaqah. You shop. You buy things that you don't need. You stock up in your fridge, sampai masuk fridge Allah ni. Export ke storehouse, right? Habits, open habits. They come to work. It's a habit. Melata is also a habit. Not melata. What's it called in English?
Muleta.
Right? It's a bad habit, right? But why is it we end up not doing anything in nature? So that's kind of change. Actually, in the earlier scene, he thought about change. Remember the first verse he said, the age of 18 wanted to end everything. But then he made a big decision. I make me. Of course, in Islam, that is not 100% word. We don't make ourselves. Of course, we are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But your ikhtiyar, your tawakkal in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, eventually makes you. Right? Your ikhtiyar in changing eventually brings where you are. And then it's tawakkal. Ikhtiyar means effort. Change. When you put in effort to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you must have tawakkal on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is tawakkal? Absolute faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you put it in action, you put in an absolute faith in yourself to be able to do something. Once you've done it, you put that in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is tawakkal. That is something that we need to do. That is something that we have to do. But most of the time, we don't do it. Why? Because we are afraid of change. Right? Allah reminded us. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. You need to break that habit. If you want to change, make sure you want to change. Find a reason, find a passion to change. There's always something that will allow you to become someone better. There's no such thing as giving up. There's no such thing as the end of the road. Even if the end is the end of the road, we just break it on. So for example, if you travel along Chukak, and just go straight, and just go straight, and straight, and you can travel the road before? Huh? So just travel straight, and then you go but it's a very long road, you know, from the exit, just go straight, go straight, you know what happens? It's a dinner. And there's a sign that says beware of crocodiles. You'll find yourself at the police coast guard Sembawang unit. And that road immediately goes slow. Orang kelapa, orang terus slow. The road that really goes slow. Really. And what you see next is Malaysia. Even if you find there's you know, and I stopped there and said, yeah, it's very what I do. I was alone. What I do. So I stopped there and I got the sign it's there on the road. But then I realized that's not the end of the road. I can just leave the car. That's what I do. I swim. There's a new road ahead. You go through some trouble, you go through some bad moments, right? You go through some difficulties, you're going to sweat a little bit. You're going to have some kind of pain, some cramps. Eventually you find yourself, you go in a new country. That is life. Sometimes it gives you the worst, shit ever. It gives you the worst trouble ever in your own life. And you start to imagine, why is that person, my friend, having such a good life? Family is so okay. Why is it mine is not okay? Why is it mine not matters? I don't know. Right? In one of the things, challenges, inshallah, I want to share with the condition of my family. Like I said, I was not from madrasa. My family was not religiously sound. But everything changed after I came back. And it was the most difficult time ever. Right? The first 2 years of my life as a Ustaz when I came back. I've been working at the museum for 4.5 years, almost 5 years. And Safina, only 2 years and now 3 years. And so that means it's around 6 years since I graduated. When I started to give only public lectures, since 3 years ago. The first days of my life, I tried to rectify myself and the most important people within my family. Still, I'm not going better. But what's the most priority is my mom and dad. It takes time. It's painful. You're not going to be recognized. You're going to have own battles and warfare. Nobody knows. But eventually, the grass is always greener on the other side. Doesn't mean that you just have to jump on the side, but you find a way. And you find a much more better way. So food for thought. represent the calamities that come and disasters that occur in your life. Or perhaps it's something that you dislike will be your salvation, and perhaps it's something that you prefer will eventually be your doom. This was something that I shared with Sakina Talks. I want to share it again because I find it meaningful. This was something which is taken from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, perhaps something that you like, or something that you want, something I don't give, but there's no good in it. But perhaps something that I give you, you don't want it, but you need it. Sometimes in life, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us test, one, we have to take every test as a testimony. Number two, when Allah gives us tests, Allah wants to tell us instantly that I know you. Allah knows you. And Allah has prepared things in life which is much more better than whatever we have done.
And cold. Bit cold. I don't either.
What do you get from this?
So serious.
Don't be so serious, right? Because doctor is serious, right? Have any of you been hospitalized before? What for?
This time,
Stab.
I have a this.
Oh, he's there.
Stab.
Right.
Six.
Right. Okay, I was also hospitalized before. I find it sometimes quite upset, especially if you sometimes you're like a test. I'm not going to be you know, it's something so serious. And once, you know, the last, as well, I've been hospitalized twice. Once because of gout, secondly, also because of gout. Right? So, I was forced to go to the hospital because of that. So when I was at the hospital, I somehow, you know, had it. Because when they were looking at me, they were looking at me. I asked them, I was running the internet bar. That was the only time they asked me to take me from an internet bar. I'm going to right? So I asked them, so am I an artifact? And I said, oh, sorry, sir, no, sir. I just want to see everything's okay.